Бучі відомо про більш ніж 300 убитих і закатованих людей.
За время нахождения Бучи под контролем российских вооруженных сил ни один местный житель не пострадал от насильственных действий. Такой информации не было и нет.
Десь до 21 тисячі мирних мешканців мирного Маріуполя. Ми сьогодні розуміємо.
Конечно, сейчас будут от этого открещиваться, но факты и доказательства неопровержимы.
Wherever there is a war, the highest price is paid by civilians.
A informação sobre o total de mortes civis na Ucrânia desde o início da invasão russa tem variado drasticamente entre fontes. Os números diferem entre autarquias, governo e Nações Unidas. E a Rússia acusa a Ucrânia de encenar mortes e nega qualquer envolvimento no assassinato de civis. Mas, afinal, por que diferem tanto os números e em quem devemos acreditar?
Overall, in the world, I think many people are interested in knowing the number. Like, we're always so interested in the number. We want to know how many people are being affected, how bad is this crisis, because we care, right? But getting at this number, especially during the war, is really hard.
If anyone claims that they know the exact number of people who have died in a conflict, they're lying, or they're very misguided or misinformed.
I would say there are two categories of challenges to this kind of work. Politics of casualty counting have been an issue for many years, really almost as long as war has existed. The side that is presenting the numbers wants to make either themselves look strong or the other side look weak. The second is technical problems.
If you have a case like Ukraine right now, the question is also, who are we trying to count? And how difficult is it to get that information? You know, there's a big difference between counting and estimating, and it's not really an estimate, it's a guesstimate. In many ways, we're trying to guess how many people are affected for various reasons. For example, for humanitarian relief and assistance.
Mas nem todos partilham o mesmo interesse em conhecer os números reais de baixas civis durante um conflito. Os governos dependem desta informação para tomar decisões políticas e militares. As sociedades precisam de conhecer a dimensão da tragédia para poderem fazer o luto e honrar os mortos. E, sobretudo, estes dados são essenciais no momento de responsabilizar os agressores. É precisamente aqui que surge o conceito de ignorância oficial.
The idea of official ignorance is actually quite widely seen, or you can see it all over the world. That if you're an aggressor, when you engage in military action, you don't want the world to know about the civilian toll of your militarism. Our allies will be more likely to look the other way if the civilian casualties of our military actions don't seem that significant.
A guerra no Vietnã foi um ponto de viragem na forma como passaram a ser encaradas as baixas civis. O número total de vítimas do outro lado da barricada deixou de ser sinónimo de vitória num conflito e a opinião pública passou a exigir a proteção de todas as vidas inocentes. A retórica começou então a focar-se na precisão dos ataques e surgiu o termo danos colaterais, em substituição de baixas iraquianas. Os chefes de Estado norte-americanos e líderes militares assumiram desde então uma forte posição de resistência à contagem de baixas civis.
I would say that no, there will never be an exact count. Probably in the days to come, you're going to hear many stories, either overinflated or underinflated, depending upon who you hear them from. The people who will know best, unfortunately, are the families that won't see their loved ones come home.
A Convenção de Genebra protege legalmente todos os civis, isto é, não combatentes, durante um conflito armado. É também por isso que se teme que forças militares procurem esconder crimes de guerra para evitar futuras condenações.
In some areas, perpetrators may take more measures to hide what they did. They may just want to conceal what they did because maybe those violations were particularly grave.
I think that the Russian military is surprisingly not concerned with hiding evidence of atrocities. They don't seem to care that there are international norms and international laws that prohibit the targeting of civilians. And when bodies are left lying in the streets, I think that's pretty good evidence that they're not very concerned with covering up what they've done.
Apesar do reconhecimento da incerteza e da dificuldade no acesso a este tipo de informação, há um método de contagem que parece ser consensual entre académicos.
I think the most important guideline for counting is that you have personally identifying information about every victim. That's really key. Well, the more information you have about it, the easier it will be to compare victims across multiple sources.
Mas tão fundamental quanto reconhecer a importância da contabilização das mortes que resultam de uma guerra é a noção de que os números são atualizados e isso não é, necessariamente, um sinal de incorreção. Foi o que aconteceu durante a Guerra da Bósnia entre 1992 e 1995. Os primeiros dados avançados durante o conflito estimavam cerca de 350 mil mortes entre as três comunidades em confronto, sérvia, croata e muçulmana. Em 2007, o primeiro estudo independente revelou que, na verdade, o número total de baixas seria inferior ao inicialmente previsto: 97.207 pessoas.
People become attached to numbers. We've seen it, for example, in the Bosnian case. For the Bosnian War, it becomes part of the historical identity of a society, and then it's difficult to afterwards accept that there might be a different number that represents the reality in some way.
There's been very little concern expressed about the numbers offered by the Ukrainian government. There's a big difference between numbers that come from the victim group and those representing them, and the numbers that come from the perpetrators of violence. That they are more inclined to sympathize with the victim group and therefore not question those numbers, although the victim group has its own political agenda. So we need to realize that there's reason to question numbers from all official sources.
And here's how we want you to react when we come with a new number. We don't want you to say, oh, that newspaper is biased. They said that it was this and now it's actually this. That it's, oh, okay, so we have more information now. And with that information, we're revising our understanding of the conflict or of the situation. I think in Ukraine, we'll have a very good understanding within a year or two of how many people have died.
It is imperative for those who think that human life is valuable, which is, I like to believe, just about all of us, that the victims of war, civilian victims of war, deserve to be recognized and remembered and memorialized. But we need to try to make it unacceptable to perpetrate violence against civilians, even in conflict zones.